Is not why rates of crime have decreased. As was previously mentioned, pornography increases feelings of sexual aggression, not lowers them. Further, we can look at the so-called golden age of pornography to see this. During this time, between 1969 and 1984, pornography experienced unprecedented exposure and commercial success, and during that same time period, US crime rates rose to extreme levels. The drop in crime rate since the 1990s has been explained by experts as a wide variety of factors that have nothing to do with pornography.
Shalom, it's your boy DBD back again with another edition. So guys, we're going to be breaking this thing down in continuation of the video I just showed you. And he was talking about the golden age, right? And the introduction of porn into civilization and the psychological effect it had on the people. People were just behaving irrational, impulsive, behaving like savages, animals, demons, right? So we're going to break down the psychology of how these things work. So it says the dysfunction of the prefrontal circuitry manifests as weakened willpower combined with hyperreactivity to addiction cues. The prefrontal cortex, resting behind the forehead, is the seat of what scientists call executive control. It supplies problem-solving, attention, planning, foreseeing consequences, and the regulation of goal-directed behavior. Do you know how important that is in terms of any man making decisions? Any man making right decisions, not decisions based on emotions. We're just going to continue. Important in addition, the prefrontal cortex governs the willpower and inhibits the behaviors we might later regret. Do you see what I'm trying to say? We're going to break this down, chop it to pieces today. And it says to help us control impulse, the prefrontal cortex extends two types of nerve pathways into the reward system. Go for it pathways and let's stop and think about it pathways. These pathways function as a gas pedal and brakes for the less reflective reward system. For example, if the emotion centers in the reward system of amygdala urge you to punch your boss, the prefrontal cortex rapidly commutes the consequences and fires messages down the think about it pathways to inhibit you. Without addition, the increasingly powerful go-get-it pathways amplifies craving to use porn. With the psychologically weakened think about it pathways have a harder time inhibiting your drive. It's a neurological equivalent of the devil on one shoulder and the angel on the other. With the devil resembling King Kong, physical evidence of dysfunctional prefrontal circuits can be observed in the fMR studies, and specialized psychology tests can identify poor executive control. These are now 13 studies reporting altered prefrontal circuitry of poor executive function in a hyper prefrontal, prefrontal cortex. Sorry, I can't say that word at the moment. In porn users and sex addicts. So basically, what this is saying right now is what I was showing you previously in the video, right? And I'm going to show in the next page, and I'm going to break it down. Is that people who use pornography and also play video games, but that's for another video, and watch videos continuously, such as movies, because I told you already, when you watch movies, you go into an alpha state, and when you're in an alpha state, your prefrontal cortex switches off, and basically your limbic brain and everything goes, and over time, your prefrontal cortex will shrink, just like here. And when your prefrontal cortex shrinks, especially people who are young, kids, 15, 12, growing up in a already toxic environment, what happens to them? If they don't know if those signals that tell someone to stop, don't do this, are damaged, what happens? They don't know what they're doing. And this is why many people are in prison right now, because of impulsive decision, crash dummy behavior, because of they didn't know any better. And I'm going to prove it to you that these people know what they're doing. This is social engineering. And this is why only the people who strengthen their prefrontal cortex, or are lucky that they have environments that suits them to strengthen it, such as parents who are aware, parents who educate their children in pushing them to really read books and not play video games all day and all these things. Those people are considered lucky, but we're gonna get there. So I'm gonna go to the this page right here, which is page 101, I think. Hold on, just bear with me. Now, this is very important because this is what I was trying to break down. So it says, as porn users misdiagnosed, all those symptoms such as erectile dysfunction, social anxiety, concentration problems, depression are quite different. They share a common finding in the scientific literature. As explained, one brain change that occurs, the desensitization, again, in terms refers to the general dialing down of a person's responsiveness to all pleasure, a baseline drop in dopamine, and reduced dopamine sensitivity. Evidence of desensitization has been found in the moderate porn user. Cool. A decline in dopamine signaling is associated with this. These are the side effects of people who are watching pornography, and you're going to see this is why people in poor environment, people who only indulge in escapism. You know, when you indulge in escapism because of your environment is so toxic already, so you're just trying to escape from reality. And when you do, people don't know what really happens to them. Cool. Diminished sexual behavior, possible cause, sluggish erection. Yeah, cool, we know this, but now this is the important. Decreased risk taking. So these people will now be scared little boys. They're timid behavior. And this is why you see, I told you already, when you're on semen retention, you can start making eye contact. But just imagine, you look at small kids growing up in the private environment. They don't take risks, they're timid. Increased anxiety combined with tendency towards angry overreaction. You see the key word? Angry overreaction. Impulsive behavior, crash dummies. And this is the things that these people know, these scientists know these things. Any of which can be decreased unwillingness to socialize, inability to focus, which can account for concentration and memory problem, and lack of motivation, healthy anticipation, which can lead to apathy, procrastination, and contribute to depression. I even put the ghetto because of these terminologies and all of these behavior patterns are associated to people in the ghetto, right? In the hood, right? And people who just behaving like animals. And people don't understand that this is by design. So cool. I put this analogy here. So here you have the self-proclaimed alpha male. And you see the thing about many alpha males who have been brought up in those environments, right? Where they were blue pill before, where they were beta males on paper, they've been neutralized, they're just calm and they're reasonable. Because you see the thing about the beta male, he has an active prefrontal cortex, which is why people call him a nerd. Because he reads books, he's quiet, he's timid, he's just, just law-abiding citizen. Because he thinks about everything thoroughly. So he's not going to just go punch someone. He wants to talk things out. Whereas these self-proclaimed alpha males are crash dummies. They have a shrunken prefrontal cortex. And everything is impulsive behavior. And this is why I showed you the original clip prior, which is an indication of what porn has done to people. Also porn, video games, and all of these other things, which is another terminology called MK Ultra, which you should check out, which is mind control. And they are doing it on a global scale where they are tapping into our minds through these weapons of mass destruction, because they're easily accessible. And the more easy they're accessible, you will be the victim, because you need to remember, anytime a product is free, you are the product. They are experimenting on you, but people don't know this. And this is why it's imperative for you to decluster yourself from these mechanisms. Go on semen retention, read more books, go to the park, take some fresh air, and detach yourself from technology and what's it called, be more interactive with your environment, your people, have healthy conversation. This will make your prefrontal cortex to grow, and when your prefrontal cortex grows, you'll be able to make better decision making, you'll be less timid, and you'll be fearless, because of now you're courageous. But this is your boy DBD. We're going to be breaking this down. This is just, I finished the book now. So now I'm going to be making more videos on the board again where you're going to see my face. I just locked myself away for a couple of days. I had to just finish reading books so that we're going to have more topics to discuss. So this is your boy DBD. Please like and subscribe. More content on the way. Shalom.